Thanks for coming in today. I am a little nervous. I feel like the co-pilot, so anytime you want to take over, I'm here and ready to.
I appreciate that. I'm looking for
second.
your leadership, Paula.
I'm
I
sure.
am banking
I'm
on
sure.
it.
This is so great.
Absolutely.
So I have so many compelling questions, but I'll try to keep them clean to some degree.
Okay.
And just really would love to hear a little bit about what makes you Alaskan. So this whole entire podcast was inspired by my work.
Right.
And I love seeing other people succeed. And then I
And
started.
you're good at it,
Well,
too.
thank you.
make people successful
I'm not
all
even
the time.
paid. I told you this is not paid. This is
right.
not a paid gig.
No,
just
no,
so you know.
I know you.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen your successes. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So anyways, so it's one degree of separation.
Right.
Because the more we learn about each other, the more you recognize even the most polarized people, we've got something in common, and it's this big, great state. But there's always this little nugget of something that brought you here, keeps
There's
you
a
here.
nuance
There is.
for each and every one of us.
It's true.
Yeah.
But as Alaskans, it's a special nuance, I think.
Right. I think so. No, and it's like, whether it's the outdoors, whether it's the opportunity, whether it's the economics, whether it's, the monkey wharf back in the day. Whatever brought you to Alaska brings you special, but then collectively, it is all Alaska.
Coming right out of the gate with the monkey wharf. I mean, come on.
For those that don't know,
That's
the
right.
Monkey Wharf was a bar in downtown Anchorage that
It's
had
the-
these just disgusting monkeys behind the glass, and it would not exist today.
And they defecated at inopportune times.
And threw it.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So
Yep. Worse and better than a zoo.
in both ways, yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The bad behavior was behind the glass and in front of it.
And both,
Yeah.
all through the bar,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
And that was probably, early 80s that left?
I think so.
I think so, right.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a bad habit in Anchorage of giving directions according to what used to be there.
Right, as
And
the
now we
miles, as the mile markers?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
now I just cry over the 4th Avenue Theater, just like
Which is gone,
all-
sure.
yep.
Right.
But-
okay. Yeah, go down to the 4th Avenue Theater, take it out to where the Monkey Wharf was, turn there, head to the Wild Cherry.
Oh, well, I went right, and I went to the Corsair.
Oh, the Corsair,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
There was a chef, a waiter at the Corsair that was so snooty. Do you remember? I don't remember the name. But it was like he was disgusted to be there with you. What is your order? With that accent.
The original soup Nazi kind of
Yes,
guy. Yeah.
that thing, down at the Corsair, which was a semi-upscale restaurant
It was.
downtown.
And the House of Lords, I used to go there too. My mom was dating in the 70s. And so to impress her, I got to go along on the dates. So
Right.
I got lots of flowers, nice
Nice.
dinners. It worked out for me.
That
But-
works well.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So
Anyway.
that's fun.
Right. So, and you're born and raised in Alaska, right?
Yep. I'm
Right.
I'm fourth generation. Not so sure about great grandma being born here. I think she was born in Montana, and then came up when she was 1 or 2.
Right. And those are my roots, by the way.
Montana.
I
Oh, really?
grew up in Montana. A lot of people think I was born and raised in Alaska. I was not. I grew
did
up
not
in
know.
Montana, and worked on ranches in the summer and on other long weekends and stuff because that's the easiest job to get.
Right.
And one day when I was a teenager, and I was throwing bucking hay, we call it, where you're on the back of a pickup truck and you're cutting hay bales and throwing them to the cattle that are following you. In February, and these 50-pound hay bales had water in them that had froze, so they were more like 80 to 100-pound bales. I said, there's got to be a better way to make a living. There has to be. And so I changed.
And so why Alaska? Where
Well,
was the
so
connection?
how I got to Alaska was an interesting story of almost successes which became failures. So deciding that I didn't want to work on ranches anymore.
We're not talking about your dating today, right?
Yeah,
that's not
no.
where we're-
Okay, we'll get into dating a whole nother.
Oh, okay.
That'll be the next podcast. Okay. No, so it was at high school, and I was attending Billings Senior High, and I was a sophomore. I always like to say I finished 10th and a half grade, so I've got that much education for me. But they had instituted a rule in the school district back then that you couldn't miss more than 20 days or you wouldn't get credit.
Oh.
excused or not, it didn't matter. I skipped that first week, so I really didn't hear that announcement. And
Thought it was maybe more of a guideline.
right, yeah.
You know.
I didn't know. So by the time I had missed my 21st day, they called me in the office and said, basically, congratulations, you finished your high school career. And I said, okay, thank you. And I left. Oddly enough, Pat Pitney, president of is she president? She's not regent. I think she's president of the university.
She is.
Pat Pitney went to the other high school in Billings, Montana.
I did not know that.
And she was a year behind me. And she for those that don't know, she was an Olympic competitor in shooting and a champion. Great shot. And she and I were talking about that. That same rule almost got her kicked out.
Oh, wow.
The same year because she was off competing everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how rules apply to both the juvenile delinquent and the overachiever at the same time. And
I'd like to try to, ride the line as much as possible. I went to Wasilla High School, same rule, but I just ran for student body vice president so that I was always on official school business.
that's the write-off, I suppose.
And then also, if I brought McDonald's back for my third-hour teacher, he'd ignore the fact that I wasn't there for half the class.
That's good. That's working.
Survival.
Baby. That's working it. No, I'm proud. You were much more mature and working the system better than I.
I wouldn't say that, but
Right.
I heard. I guess I was there the first week. I heard about the getting kicked out at 20.
I see. Yeah. So anyway, at 15, I got kicked out of high school, and my baseball coach, a guy named Wayne Coffey, was a program director at a country radio station, and I went to tell him I couldn't play baseball this summer because I wasn't in school anymore.
Right.
And I told him, I said, look, I have to get a job or I have to move out of the house. My parents have given me that ultimatum. And he said, well, if I give you a job on the radio, will you play one more year for me?
And is this how Rick Rydell was
This is
born?
Actually, no, this is how Rick, the radio character, was born. Rick
Okay.
Rydell came from the same guy.
Yeah.
Because what you don't know, and maybe a few people out there know, my father had started a late in life career in radio.
Did not know that.
At like 40 years old. What the hell was he thinking? I have no idea. But he did, and he was on one country station, which was the competitor of this one.
Oh, wow.
And so Wayne, who's again dead, said, you have to use a different last name because your dad's on the other radio station.
Oh, wow.
So go through the phone book, pick a name that starts with R.
Yeah.
And I went and I found Raines, Robinson, and Rydell. There was one Rydell in the Billings phone book back then. And I ended up doing that and kind of just stuck with it after that.
That's funny.
That's how it began.
Oh, wow. I had no
Yeah.
idea. And so
Right.
that was in Montana, though.
That was in Montana.
Oh.
And then how to get to Alaska.
Yeah.
So I got my first full-time job in Lewistown, Montana, which was 110 miles away. So the good thing is, I was on another podcast and the younger guy interviewing me says, oh, did your parents emancipate you? It's like, dude, this was the 70s.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. you young kid.
That's
yeah,
right.
no, this was the 70s. No, you didn't get emancipated. You just left.
Yep.
And the good thing was let's just say I matured early and I had a full beard.
Oh.
So at 15, passing for 18 is not hard. And so I moved 110 miles away and started a radio job after the baseball coach fired me from my part-time one that he gave me 6 months after I did it.
What got you fired?
Well, the season was over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He didn't need you for, okay.
Yeah, no, that, and I was doing a bit. For some reason, I had it in my head, if I'm on the radio, I need to do bits, and so I created this character called the Square Dance Weatherman. And I would play Cotton Eye Joe, and then I would call the weather like a square dance.
Oh, my gosh.
Right. So, good morning, Billings, Montana. Your weather for today, partly cloudy with some rain to last throughout Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Alley up, or whatever I do. And he didn't like that. And so that was his excuse for firing me. I got fired from quite a few of those jobs in
Did
the
you?
beginning. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I was always doing stuff like that. So, but later, then I got paid more for doing stuff like that because that's what people wanted.
God,
In
weird.
radio.
Isn't that strange?
Isn't
Yeah.
it? Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, get slapped down for it in your early career and then promoted later in life for it. So,
And so you landed here?
so no, I one thing about me that a lot of people don't know is that I like to hunt and fish. I know, shocking, right? And I had spent a lot of time doing that in Montana, and I wanted more. I wanted more of everything. I wanted more excitement. I wanted more danger. I wanted bigger animals. I wanted bigger fish. I wanted it all. Where else do you do that in America?
That's right.
There's only one place.
That's true.
So Dennis Egan hired me
Oh, wow.
in Juneau.
Yeah.
Didn't know I was underage. Never asked. Again, the 70s. They only asked for a driver's license
Right.
back then.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for anything
And
else.
facial hair.
And facial hair
There you go.
helped,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I moved to a Juneau and worked for then radio guy Dennis Egan. He later became mayor of Juneau, became senator from that area, and of course his dad, who I got to meet, was the first governor ever of Alaska.
Right.
Fascinating man. Did you ever meet Bill?
No, when I was a kid.
Right. So I met Bill like when I first moved there, and we had talked maybe 5 minutes, just very surfacey. And I had mentioned something about my father.
Right.
And I didn't see him again for 6 months. I'm walking downtown Juneau. Bill Egan is walking down. He hollers out Rick from about 50 feet away.
Oh, wow.
And starts asking me about my dad.
Oh, wow.
What a memory that man had.
Yeah.
Right.
I envy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Names and memory.
And I can barely remember my name
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Bill Egan, incredible memory. And that's kind of really my dealing with him. He died not long after that. I want to say 1984.
I was in high school.
Right. Okay. I wasn't anymore.
Yeah.
Because you worked the rule. I didn't. Yeah. But so and then that brought me to Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then guiding and of hunting and fishing and
Well, and the
working
ability to meet,
construction.
generational, what I would consider an institutional family coming right out of the gate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Only in Alaska.
Again, that's the 1 degree.
Yeah, no, and the 1 degree to your point, I remember I want to say 1996, we had a Ted Stevens reelection rally.
Yep.
And we're sitting doing it at Town Square in Anchorage. And I'm sitting there talking to Ted and then Senator Frank Murkowski walks up. So I've got the 2 senators from Alaska sitting there talking to me, and here comes Don Young.
Oh, wow.
And so then there's Don Young, and then Mayor Rick Mystrom comes up, and it's like, where else does this happen?
Never.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Alaska. You don't find that anywhere else.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
At least where I've been.
I love it.
Yeah.
Unless I get stuck unless I get stuck behind the ex-husband at Costco,
There's that.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Luckily, my ex lives in Eagle River. And I don't piss her off except at my son's wedding, but that's a personal story. We won't get into that. Right.
It's bound to happen.
It was.
Yeah.
As my son says, what's the use of having an ex-wife if you can't piss her off every
That's
now and then?
True.
Thank you, son.
Wise words. So then Juneau to Anchorage.
Juneau to Anchorage.
Or was there a stop in between?
Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did a morning radio show in Cleveland, Ohio for about 2 years.
Oh, see, I'm already finding stuff out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's we don't talk a lot about that
Okay.
because it's
a blip.
Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Although I kind of liked it. I went deer hunting in Ohio.
You did?
Yeah, I got a deer. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Was it look like a real deer?
It was a real deer. It was a whitetail. It's not like
good.
the blacktail we have here.
Right.
But, whitetail are kind of so there's really three, there's 2, but there's really 3 main species of deer.
Right.
And it's the whitetail, the mule deer, and the blacktail. And even though the blacktail is a relative of the mule deer, that's what we have in Alaska is the Sitka blacktail. And that is the finest of all tasting.
Is
deer.
it?
The finest, absolutely.
Okay, this part I have an inclination to
Yeah.
ask you, and I knew a teeny bit. So
Right.
one of the things I brag about is that the people I invite I don't really know at all.
Yeah.
And the conversations lead in a
Doesn't work
place
this time.
we can't prep for it, so it's great.
Right.
So what I do know is you've cooked a whole lot of different types of game meat.
Game meat, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best tasting.
Lynx.
Really?
Lynx is probably the best tasting game meat. And it's interesting. Did I give some to your hubby?
I don't think so.
We've talked about it,
Right.
Because he and I have had extensive talks about trapping lynx, which he's fascinated by, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But the lynx. So I'll make 3 different things out of a lynx. I'll make frankfurters, which I call hot cats instead of hot dogs.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Right. And then I make little smokies, which I call breakfast lynx, Lynx.
Oh, there you go.
And then I'm not a spicy food guy, but I'll throw spices in it to make it hot lynx, Lynx.
Oh,
Right. And most people that have any of those think it's the best they've ever tasted of game, unless they can't get past the fact that it's a feline.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it tender?
Well, at that point, it's sausage.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, I've butterflied the back straps and fried them and cooked them and done all that. It's a very tender meat. It's analogous to a very light pork.
Got it.
Maybe chicken almost.
Okay, what's one you wouldn't repeat?
Oh my God!
Or are there so many?
Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I had to eat it though. I have to try everything I kill.
Yeah.
And that was back in my trapping days, and I just thought, okay, well, I can't kill it without trying it.
So this hunting thing for you, it's a progression. You're saying back in the days. Have you progressed through different types?
No, I still hunt everything
Okay.
I can. They call it ATM hunting, anything that moves.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't go as much as I used to.
Yeah.
It's like an itch that mostly got scratched. But I really like the wild meat. I really like.
Yeah.
It's and after I had my heart attack 10 years ago, is it 10? Yeah, a little over 10 years ago.
Oh.
My cardiologist, wise man, first thing he said to me was, "You should drink a couple glasses of red wine every night. It's good for you." That's
Nice.
a prescription from a cardiologist,
I mean,
right?
yeah.
So that started me drinking red wine, and my God, do I sleep good. But the other thing he said is he was going over my diet. He said, I think you hunt. I said, yeah. He says, wild game, I don't care how much of that you eat, whatever you want. Go ahead.
With my daughter, I was anemic, and they said, go get some moose meat and cook it tonight for dinner.
Right.
Yep.
And moose, my God, is it some of the best in the world?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yep.
And and that's better than horse. That's better than
I'd rather not know.
Alpaca. Right.
I'm
Llama.
assuming you've eaten these.
I've eaten all of them.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Porcupine.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right. I think you've probably had that too.
No,
really?
No.
That's shocking.
Born and raised, and we did not hunt a lot growing up. Yeah. I think it was just the opposite of what you would think. I was born in a trailer and raised in a trailer, and
that's where I learned to hunt.
My dad said, "By God, you're not going to have to hunt to eat."
Wow. Right.
And now people pay how much to be able to get out there and do it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's interesting how we go and use that as a milestone?
Yes.
You won't have to hunt to eat, honey.
Isn't that sad?
tells you where he was.
Yep.
Because I have had to hunt to eat, and I find it shocking when I realize most people haven't.
Haven't had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
But it's like, so your dad probably grew up in a socioeconomic setting similar to that of someone who might have been a generation before in the Depression.
Absolutely. He was here in Anchorage. He was born here.
Right.
And then,
well, that says a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Spinard.
Well, there you are.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I think his first job was a red wagon going from bar to bar collecting bottles.
Right. To sell them.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So. But that's the other thing about Alaska, and I'm sure you find with everyone, is the plethora of different faces work-wise they've had to carry.
Yes.
Who stays in the same job for a lifetime here?
I don't know very many people, to be honest.
I don't know either.
And I love that because you can never guess. I think we were talking about Ryan Binkley.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he was an engineer. Oh, and by the way, this little boat side gig thing he has,
Right.
And I love that about Alaskans.
Right. Well, and his dad. I mean, the things his father has done.
Amazing.
Johnny Binkley, amazing man.
Yep. You have motorcycles in common, right?
We do. We talk a lot about that and his helicopter. But
okay.
Yeah. So it was funny. There was a I want to say it was 8 years ago. There was a Republican meeting downtown here, and it was when when Mike Dunleavy was first running, because if you remember, Johnny Binkley was a consideration back then. And I had been sitting there talking with John Binkley at that Republican event while all the things were going on. We were talking about using his helicopter to fly into burn areas to go get morel mushrooms.
Oh, wow.
But everybody thought we were conspiring over in the corner on politics.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and that was when, okay, now it all comes back to me. That was when Don Young was, when they announced he was Dean of the House, the longest serving Republican in the House. And Dan Sadler had written a song and needed a guitar and called if I would bring a guitar down so he could do the song, which got me there.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. And then he sang Dean of the House to Don Young with my guitar that he borrowed. And I was talking with Johnny about the Morels when they thought we were conspiring about his governor run.
Right.
Right. And then I get ready to leave. And then a good friend of mine, deceased now, Ben Stevens.
Yeah.
He calls, says, "What are you doing?" I go, "Well, I'm just ready to leave the Republican." He goes, "I'll be there in 20 minutes. Stay." Because even he was considering running for governor back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then I'm meeting with Ben Stevens, and we're not talking anything about governor stuff. We're just buddies for a long time. But then everybody thought we were conspiring.
Of course.
So, yeah.
And have you always been interested in politics?
I started that in my teen years in Juneau.
Really?
Yeah. I think I went to a Don Young rally.
Do you think it's because of just proximity?
I think it was girls. They were cute, right? I was young.
Okay, but you're also a musician.
Well,
isn't that
so,
where you?
So you got that too?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they the same girls?
No, it's a whole different group.
Oh, is it?
And then the motorcycle brings a whole nother group.
Oh,
right.
I see. It's trifecta.
Right.
Okay.
Well, if they're, or maybe four.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Well.
But that was the single days. The guitar, the music, the motorcycles, it's all different now.
When did the music start?
Oh, when I was like a teenager.
Really?
Yeah, I got a guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an old acoustic guitar. It had cracks in it. And I just bloodied my fingers learning how to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, because you've seen me play guitar. And
I
sing.
have.
I'm really more of a vocalist than a guitar player.
Oh, and we're going to get you to sing today.
Oh, joy.
So, just know. I put Chris Palmatier was on here, and I put him on the spot, and he choked. So, it's only uphill from here. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, no, I'll have to because I remember there was one time, and for those of you remembering radio a long, long time ago, there was a time when I had a battle with a lady named Teresa Obermeyer.
I just saw her. I thought she had passed away.
Yeah, no.
I just saw her.
I saw something on social media from her the other day too, so I know she's still around.
Her voice still rings in my ear. You can hear it.
Well, and for those who don't know, there was a time when her husband was trying to get past the bar.
Over and over and over.
And he was an attorney in another state. So it's not like it's unprecedented, but he couldn't get past the Alaska bar. And she would then publicly go out and blame the cabal of Jewish lawyers in Alaska from barring him. And it was radio gold.
Yeah, I bet.
Right. And so I'm doing this, and she started calling to debate me.
Oh, did she?
Right. And so we had these different wonderful debates because I'm just having fun on the radio and she's like very serious. But by the third time it happened, I thought, okay, my audience is probably getting bored with this.
Right.
And I knew that there was a Fleischmann Margarine Company was having a national moo-off. Who could do the best moo? And there were all these prizes.
You can't make this up.
No, it's a true story.
Oh gosh.
So Teresa calls and I say, "Well, Teresa, we've been arguing for this is our third time, and I think people are getting bored. So I thought today we'd just have some fun if you'd play along." She goes, "Okay, well, what's that?" I go, "Well, Fleischmann Margarine's having this national moo off, so I thought I'd call and you could moo like a cow."
Oh.
Right. And she says, "No, I'm not going to do that, Mr. Rydell." I go, "No, come on, please moo like a cow." So there's 2 minutes of me begging her that.
Oh, you're kidding?
To moo like a cow, and she won't do it, right?
Oh, geez.
So then every politician that came on for the next 3 months would moo.
They would?
They would, exactly.
Oh, fantastic.
If there was a tape of that somewhere, I have Mark Begich mooing like a cow.
You're kidding?
Yeah, no, he
that's
was
fantastic.
right there. Just, I'll do it. He was a horrible cow, but he mooed like a cow. So
That is wonderful. That's
Yeah.
great.
So-
That's the first time we met. Is you were on the radio on
Right.
my way to daycare, dropping the kids off, and there was one day when my son was just learning to talk, and
did I teach him a curse word?
he kept his first words out of the back seat of the car in his car seat was the F-bomb. So-
Which I didn't say on the air, by the way.
No, but it was Fox Radio.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
was trying to articulate Fox, and he was trying to imitate your voice, and I thought that was really great. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was in the early 90s.
I almost got him to come here today just because he wanted to meet you.
Oh, that
So,
would be funny.
Yeah.
That would be, after all that influence.
Isn't that nice?
Right.
You've just been setting that kind of standard for young minds.
Yeah. Well, I did teach young broadcasters how to say the F-bomb on the air legally.
Oh, and how
back
is it?
in the day.
Tell me.
Yeah, you go, oh, fuck, crying out loud.
Nicely
Right?
done.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a little lesson I give
There
to
you
young
go.
broadcasters, right?
There
How
you
to
go.
curse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So, sort of Alaska famous. What?
Sorta.
Kinda.
Kinda.
Careers now. So far, you've said radio.
radio,
musician.
guide,
Okay.
hunting, fishing. I was a project manager for engineering firms for quite a while.
Oh, like how long?
12 years.
That's enough.
So yeah, I built the, if you go out to Brooks Lodge.
Without your high school diploma, I'm thinking that you've finished something up somewhere.
No, I got a GED.
Did you?
Well, a good enough diploma. So I got that, but it's really work ethic after that.
Right.
And I think, working on a ranch going, God, there's got to be something better. Anything's easier. Right.
That's true.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so like if you go out to Brooks Lodge and you go over the bridge. Mm-hmm. Have you been out there recently?
No, I haven't.
Okay. And I need to, because I haven't been out there since 2000 when I did this. So it's been 26 years. Used to be when you went out to Brooks Lodge, you landed at the beach. You got the the bear education.
Oh, right.
Bear education from the park ranger who's been here 2 weeks from Oklahoma, and they're going to tell me how to deal around bears.
course.
Because they've taken the classes. They know. They're national park rangers. But anyway, so after that, then you would walk along this path, and there would be bears sleeping right at the path. I mean,
Right.
huge bears. And apparently sometime in the middle 90s, Ted Stevens was out there. This is a story I was told when I got this contract. And he said, this is an accident waiting to happen. We need, and he drew an elevated boardwalk on a bar napkin.
Oh, you're kidding.
And that then turned into the contract that I bid on.
Oh, wow.
Right, which is an elevated, it's a 5-foot elevated boardwalk, 5 feet wide. And there's a mechanical door on each end, so you have to have opposable thumbs, which bears don't.
Oh,
Right.
Hey.
So they call it bear proof. Don't know that it's totally, but let's say it's bear resistant. So there's 1,000 lineal feet of boardwalk built 5 feet above the ground, a wide deck, and a second viewing platform. That was my last project I built for Bristol Environmental and Engineering.
That's fantastic.
Before I went back on the radio.
See, and that's a testament. I constantly tell people that, if I don't believe in salespeople, I believe in people who can problem solve. So
There you
if
go.
you understand where the problem is, then you're more likely to be able to have a good customer. Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So kind of the same. You're a problem solver.
Yeah, well, I always like to say I developed a unique skill set.
Oh, good.
Communications probably being the forefront of that. But I've always really liked math. So that translates well into managing budgets.
Sure.
So the communications can manage people.
You probably like money too.
I like money.
Oh, weird.
Money likes me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to get together.
That's right.
Right. I have some. I'd like to get more.
There was that.
And I'm working on
That's
that. Right. This is not paid for, by the way.
That's right.
This is donated.
It's true.
But anyway, so the managing money, math, and managing people, communications. That's apparently not as common as one thinks it is.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. That's great. And then into radio again.
Back into radio. Yeah, I've gone back and forth between all of them multiple times.
Okay.
And the band.
You did.
I still did the band. I paid the mortgage with the band sometimes.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, at $125 a night.
They're not bad.
It's okay.
Do people the tip jar? How
Yeah,
do people are they kind of stingy or is it
Depends on the group.
Yeah.
Bikers are the best.
Are they?
They are. Yeah. So we did we did the Abate,
Right.
The Abate party out at Sheep Mountain Lodge one September. And there's all, and of course I drive a Harley, so it's not like it's totally out of the realm for me, but all of these bikers are there and they're just getting drunk. And I'm getting drunk playing too. And I made the joke. I said, hey, look, we put this band together. We really haven't rehearsed a lot, but we've all played in a lot of other bands. We can do a lot of songs. So I've got a piece of paper up here. If you want to write a request, we'll try whatever song you want. And I will say, if it's written on a 20, we'll give it priority. The 20s came flooding
my gosh.
in, right, with like Simple Man written on it.
Yeah.
Right. And so we would do that. But I don't know how many 20s we got that night.
That's
but it was
fantastic.
A lot. Yeah.
When I go to the remote lodges, we'll go up to Lake Louise sometimes, or
Right.
and I'm famous for getting the bucket and shaming people into putting money into it.
No, you do that at another place
Yeah.
we go to when I've been up with the band been played
Yep,
before. Right.
yep,
I've seen
yeah.
you do that.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's
Right.
doing my part. I can't sing, so I've got to do something.
Right. But you dance.
Yeah, well, there.
Right.
Some people call it that. Some people call it that. I had a friend that stopped one time in the middle of dancing, my friend Kelly,
Right.
and asked me what song I was listening to, because it was clearly different than everybody else.
Did she bring up Elaine?
Yeah, no, she said I topped Elaine.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay, so
wow.
she did bring it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Elaine is aware of her limbs, and I am not.
There you are.
There you go.
So, yeah,
So,
you got that. But,
I do.
But anyway, so that's kind of the careers I've had. I guess handyman for a while, too. I did remodels for
You did?
people. Yeah.
What's your favorite part? Finishing work, or
No, God, no, absolutely not.
don't have the patience? You like the math?
Yeah, well, no, it's not. There's not the only math you really use in that is cutting your drywall and taping, and probably favorite part flooring.
Really?
Flooring, yeah.
Instant gratification.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and once it's done, it's done.
That's right.
There's no seams to deal with. I mean, there's some trim to put up at the end, but yeah.
And how did you leap into the position you're in now?
Well, that was
I would have never considered you a politically correct person, politically inspired. And so I am fascinated by you now working for
the government.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's been almost 8 years.
Yeah.
It was almost 8 years. And how that happened was I had a heart attack. We mentioned that earlier.
Right.
And that was now 10 years
No, we didn't.
ago.
You did.
Okay, I did.
Okay.
You acknowledged it.
Yeah, okay.
And for those who haven't had one yet, it could happen anytime. And as my doctor said, it's probably mostly genetic, and there wasn't anything I could do to stop it. And so I had a full blockage in my artery.
Oh, wow.
And they had to put a stent in to open it back up again. And I was 52 at the
Okay.
time. Right. But I just talked to a guy who had one at 16.
Right.
So, it happens.
It sure does.
Right. Also, and this is just going to be a public service announcement, former lead guitarist of mine just died.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
he died of colon cancer that had metastasized to his spleen, his kidneys, his lungs, and a rib. You've met him, or you had met him, but he had never gotten his colonoscopy.
Oh.
Had they done that, they would have found it 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
So that's the PSA, I think, for
Right.
Get your colonoscopy, kids. Get it today.
That's right.
Right. But anyway, so where was I
I knew we
going?
were going to talk about colons, but I really thought it was going to be different.
Yeah, right. So where were we going with that? That was
Your health, why you're
why I got into
Yep.
public service. Right. So I had the heart attack. And in the meantime, I was doing a radio show, doing 650 KENI, and I'd been doing that for 16 years at the time.
Okay.
And then I started thinking back on things like the boardwalk at Brooks Camp. There is also out in King Salmon, there is a place called the Barrel Bluffs, and I spent 3 years working on that. And that was an old dump site that we put a soil cap over to divert the water to not run down through the unknown substances into the drinking water. We had a water treatment building. It was a big, like a $10 million project over 3 years. But there is a monument out there that I designed.
Oh, you're kidding.
I did it on CorelDRAW, which was the program I was using back in the day. And it describes what it is, talks about Ted Stevens getting the funding for it, said the companies. And that thing is made out of bronze.
Oh, wow.
And that will be here for my great grandkids
Isn't that cool?
to see, right?
Yeah.
And I started thinking about being
I knew
on the
you were a
radio.
softie somewhere in there.
So, yeah. Well, so thank you. So I started thinking about that after the heart attack, and I thought, what am I really doing on the radio? It's not permanent like those other things. It's ephemeral. It's today. No one's going to know it 10 years from now, which we're getting pretty close to the 10-year mark now.
Well, no wonder why I had to hound you to come here.
Right. Why? Oh, for this?
'Cause,
Yeah. No, it's
What are we really doing?
right. Yeah. So what was I was throwing peanuts from the peanut gallery. That's all I was doing.
Right.
And at that point, Trump was just getting elected. And in Trump's first term, I was a big Trump supporter. I still am. I mean, because it's it's a binary choice.
Yeah.
I'm still picking him over her. Even some people go, how can you do it? Because they say, well, because I think he's better than she is, and I always did. But I was a big supporter, and the Trump campaign took my days from environmental engineering project manager, and they said, could you run the EPA Region 10?
Oh, wow.
And so they put me up to run EPA Region 10, which is based out of Seattle. And after the struggles I had as a project manager with the EPA, I went, oh, yeah, let me have that agency.
That's
please. Right. And so the Trump campaign put me up for that job. Don Young backed me for that job. The Alaska Republican Party backed me for that job, and it went to someone else.
Oh, wow.
And it's okay, competent Alaskan.
Right.
And, I was just glad an Alaskan got it more than anything. But as that fell apart, then Senator Lisa Murkowski asked if I would be interested in the Denali Commission, which is a Ted Stevens baby.
It sure is.
And it's gotten way away from what Ted originally designed it for, way away. And I said, oh, yeah, let me hammer that back into Ted's. So I applied for that, and then the application process was draining on and on and on. And then finally, as Mike Dunleavy was getting elected, he said, Rick, why don't you just work at Fish and Game for me instead?
Wow.
And I said, I'll take that job.
Nice.
So
and now it's been?
Well, so I worked at Fish and Game for 6 years, and I was special assistant to the commissioner, Doug Vincent Lang, brilliant man. This is a once-in-a-lifetime commissioner.
Oh, really?
We will never have a guy like this again.
And why?
Because he's brilliant. He understands it. He is good enough to have a one-person hierarchy. I mean, at Fish and Game, there's Doug Vincent Lang, and then everyone works under him. There's no trickle down, right?
That's right, yeah.
But he pulls it off because he's that brilliant.
Oh, that's great.
He's that good. And we will not have. I mean, I look at the bench, and Fish and Game has always been very important to me.
Right.
I mean, I've watched commissioners since Sheffield was governor.
Right.
Right. And that's Don Collingsworth, by the way. Probably never heard of him.
No.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, so all these different commissioners, we've never had a Doug Vincent Lang, and I can't see anyone on the bench that could fill those shoes.
Oh, wow.
So we're lucky to have what we did. So I was blessed to get to work under him for 6 years. And then I went to retire.
And how's that working out?
I got another.
Yeah.
I got hired again. Yeah. So then the opening came at CFEC, and most people don't know what that is.
Nope.
But it's the Commercial Fisheries Entry Commission. Came from a 1973 constitutional amendment voted on by the legislature and the people of Alaska. Because with the Constitution, the way it's written, you cannot do an exclusive right of fisheries for someone.
Oh.
So that means you couldn't limit. So as many people wanted to go fish for salmon, they could, but it got to the point where no one was making any money because so many people were doing it.
Got it.
So this passed in 1973, and that created the Commercial Fisheries Entry Commission, a standalone agency, one step removed from politics because I serve a term. I don't serve at the pleasure of the governor.
Got it.
Right. And right now there are two of us. Coming up in March, I will be the only commissioner, but Glenn Haight, another pretty smart guy, been involved in fisheries management forever. His term is expiring on March, and then I'll be the chair commissioner.
my day job, part of what we do is a lot of recruitment stuff, and I always talk about transferable skills. You're
Yes.
you're a walking transferable skill.
Yeah, you're right. It's unique and it fits in some weird places,
It does,
right?
yeah. You just use it for good, Rick.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
right. Well, so yeah, we limit entry into the commercial fisheries. So as I always say, deadliest catch, they get their boat license and their permits from my staff.
Oh, fantastic.
And then we track the economics to make sure Alaskans are getting the best bang for the buck for the resource owned by all Alaskans, which is the fish.
You've touched on so many things that when I'm in the lower 48, I try to explain to people.
It's impossible.
I got a little bit sideways with somebody from California, just so happens. And I said, look, you paved your state.
Yeah.
Because they were giving us a hard time about not being environmentalists. I said, you won't find a more environmentalist state anywhere. And I would almost say in the world. We are more conscientious, I think, as a community of our grounds, of our land, of our... there was a day you could shoot your husband and go to jail for less time than shooting a bear out of season.
The Spenard divorce was legal back in the day, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and where was it you said your parents grew up?
The Spenard.
Oh, God, that's right. I forgot.
Only one parent. The other one was from Tudor Road.
Okay.
So, yeah.
They're a safe place.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I was raised up on Hillside before it was cool.
Yeah.
We were homesteaders.
Yeah.
So.
Didn't Louise Mandrell do a song about that?
I think so.
I don't. Barbara.
Can you?
Barbara
Mandrell.
I was Hillside when Hillside wasn't cool.
This close.
Right. Yeah.
So what's your favorite music?
I like all music. Performing wise, I probably do classic rock more than anything because that's my genre.
Got it.
Yeah.
Comes easy.
So yeah, the Eagles, the Skinnerd.
Okay. Give me a little Simple Man. You can do it.
Oh, that one's actually pretty high for my range. You may find it shocking. I have a relatively deep voice, and here's the problem. Most rock songs are sung by tenors. Okay. I am a bass.
Well, then what song is in your?
Oh, I can do it.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I can do it.
Is this the disclaimer? I'm going to do it, but it's going to sound bad?
No, I'm not going to say it's going to sound bad. I'm just going to tell you this is a reach for me.
Okay.
Because you know who Josh Turner is? Mm-hmm. Okay, he does that. Baby, lock the door
Yep.
and turn the lights down low. Right?
Yep. Right.
Even he's singing as a tenor.
Right.
I'm singing as a bass.
Okay.
So I can sing that song.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, no, I can sing that song much lower than Josh Turner can.
Oh, wow.
Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low.
I see.
Which is a lot lower.
Yeah, if I had my eyes closed, I'd think you were about 6'10" and,
instead of, 5'9", 180 pounds.
That was not a
balding.
short reference. No.
Yeah, I thought I had full hair.
I didn't say that.
Right.
I hear that most people listen to podcasts, so no one knew.
Right. Well, in radio, no one knew. So,
Yeah.
I always thought you were like 6 foot and had dark hair. Saying, well, thank you. Sorry to let you down.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate the joke. Thank you. But so Simple Man. My mama told me when I was young, come sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely, oh baby, to what I say. And if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. Ah, yeah. Do I have to get into the chorus?
No, I'm an easy mark. Look it.
Okay.
Look it. Goosebumps.
And that was, I did. I do much better with music behind me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was fun. That was fun. You did
Simple
it for
Man, $20.
Then that's, you know what? Any mom that doesn't like that for their son, that song. Yeah, I got to question them.
Right.
Yeah.
You would. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, but yeah, so that, I think that in the handyman, I think that's all the things I've done for a living.
Oh.
So.
And favorite part of Alaska?
Anything to do with my kids.
See,
anything to do
there's
with my
that
kids.
twinkle. I told you you're a softie. That's awesome.
No, I am so blessed.
How many kids do you
have? 3 that I know of so far.
Right on.
Right. Are
you taking applications?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
No, that was the greatest blessing of my life.
That's really cool.
Having my kids. Yeah.
Wow.
And I thank both women that gave me kids too.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your assistant knows one of my sons.
Well, there you go.
Well,
uh-huh.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And so they are 37, 35, and 23.
Are they all up here?
They are. Yeah. My eldest is a chemical engineer. He works for ConocoPhillips.
Okay.
My middle son is
He likes math too, apparently.
He does.
Yeah.
He's the one that does. Yeah, he likes that part. Yeah, he was the one. It was so funny when we were arguing oil taxes. He was going
Right.
to college, right? And I'm in contact with all the oil companies because they know ideologically I'm favorable for how we do resources development in Alaska,
Right.
and we do it better than anybody. By the way,
We do.
I mean, you want to save the environment. Encourage development in Alaska because we do it better than anybody, and stop them from doing it in other countries.
Well, good, bad, or indifferent, no matter what, it's not a political question, it's an
Right.
environmental question.
Yep.
And if we're pushing the demand on another country or another place, I think
They don't have the rules we do.
We take it really seriously.
We do.
We love our land.
And so I'm trying, the oil tax debate was going on. Murkowski was governor. And, he was doing the 2020 tax or whatever it was. And everybody had their own tax thing. And still, I mean, even Murkowski's tax to me is like, why are we taxing these guys so
Right.
high? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I get we need the money, but is that the reason we should be taxing? And ideologically, I'm very libertarian.
Got it.
Even though I was Republican Man of the Year in 2003.
You were?
Yeah, they gave me that award. I think in 2003, Alaska Republican Man of the Year. I'm registered Republican, but I'm the libertarian arm. I think that my belief is the government is there to secure your rights. That's what it's for. It's not there to make sure you have job skills. It's not
Right.
there to do anything. I'm a sovereign citizen myself. I can figure out my own life. I don't need the government to do it for me. So leave my land alone, leave my guns alone, and stay out of my life, except defend this country and defend the free-loving people. If someone hasn't hurt me, why are they getting punished?
Right.
Yeah, don't infringe on my property, don't infringe on me. That's very libertarian. And so
Yeah.
that's where I am. But so the tax was going on.
I promised everybody that when I started this, I would not be speaking about politics at all.
Thank God I blew that for you.
Yeah, thank you. Right out of the gate.
Right.
Yay.
And that's okay. I'm very comfortable with who I am.
Yeah.
If you can't tell. But anyway, so that was going on, and my son's going to college, and I'm trying to come up with an Excel formula that I can pump in the price of a barrel of oil, and it will dissect all the taxes for me. And it's a simple formula.
Right.
But I can't come up with it in Excel. I call Dave McDowell at BP. Do you know Dave?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I know of Dave.
Okay. And Dave and our kids play football together.
okay.
So, and his kids are great football players too. But anyway, so I call him. I say, hey, can you get your engineers to run this formula for me? Here's what I need it to do. And like 3 days goes by and I don't hear anything back. And he's like, well, they're working on it. It's a lot more difficult than it seems. I got a couple guys working on it. So I'm talking to my son who's going to college, Jake, my eldest, the chemical engineer. And I said, well, we're trying to come up with this formula. And he off the top of his head goes, oh, well, Dad, that's blank, 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 time blank, 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 blank. I'm looking at him going, oh my God, he's right. Oh my God, he did that off the top of his head.
That's great.
Right. So
Yeah.
so that's
That's amazing.
That's the eldest. Then Kale, my middle son, is a cinematographer.
Okay.
And he does, but he also does political blogs. He does podcasts, or what do you call them? Reels? Reels.
Okay.
Reels on Facebook. But that's not what he gets paid for. He gets paid for his cinematography works. So he does documentaries. He did, which I think they'll use at the university, ANCSA at 50.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right. And it was a half hour. It was paid for by the Ted Stevens Foundation.
Right.
Of which Dad does sit on the advisory committee.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's because I was very loyal to Ted, and so I'm very involved in that. And I'm also on the committee for the USS Ted Stevens Christening Commission.
I have seen that. I got
Yeah.
something in the mail, and it was
did you?
extraordinary. Yeah, my only interaction with him is he shared a pastrami sandwich with me at Lucky Wishbone.
That's something.
I felt like I got a whole hour of just absorbing his love of
Right.
Alaska.
Yeah,
it was.
And Ted,
it was not.
Ted
fake.
was
It
all about Alaska.
Yeah,
all about Alaska.
Yep.
And
the people.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I
and
mean.
even the ones that didn't like him.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. Yeah, no, he was. And I don't know that we'll ever have a Ted Stevens
No,
again.
I don't think so.
I thought hopefully Ben would write, because Ben's the same way.
He was also taller on radio.
He was a lot taller. Yeah. and Ben too.
Yeah.
Right. Because Ben was shorter than I am. But and his wife sits on my swag committee for the USS. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Elizabeth.
a really cool. That's just.
It is cool,
I love
and
that.
that'll be. I think it's announced we're going to commission that in Alaska now.
Oh, good. It is.
Yeah, because that's a Burke class destroyer, which is one of the most powerful destroyers the Navy will have, which is fitting to be the USS Ted Stevens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when is that scheduled for?
I think next summer
Okay.
we'll do that, and it's looking like probably Whittier.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
My
So-
mom lived there when she was young.
Really?
In the building.
In the building.
In the
They
building.
call it the Baggage Towers?
Yep.
Or?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Great memories.
But anyway, so that was that son. The middle son's doing the cinematography, and then my youngest, he is 2 years into his biology degree, and has 3 years part-time working at Fish and Game, and that's
Oh,
where he wants
fantastic.
to.
Is
spend
that where he wants to go?
He wants to go to Fish and Game. Yeah.
Okay,
So
fantastic.
those are the three kids, and those are my best things about Alaska. Is those three?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I had something else brilliant to say.
Right.
1 degree of separation, what does it mean to you? Oh, I know what it was.
Yeah.
Give me the Rick Rydell version of what is a chichaco.
What is it, Chaco? Well,
It was a bar.
right.
But that's
it
not what I'm
was.
talking about.
Right. Riley's now.
Yep.
But no, I know what you're talking about, and the one that always kills me is, and I don't go to Moose's Tooth often,
Right.
Because it's way too trendy for
Yep,
me,
yep, yep.
right? It's just too trendy. But it's the guy sitting in Carhartts, clean Carhartts, with extra tufts on, and a ball cap, and he says, "No, I'm local. I moved up here 8 years ago from Seattle."
Fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough.
Right, because
Yep.
they think they think they know
They've
Alaska.
seen it all.
I've been here 8 whole years. Like,
Right.
oh joy, right?
I was grateful for Sarah Palin for one thing, and that was that people quit asking me about the guy that went out and got eaten by the bear.
Right, yeah,
And what a
Timothy
hero he
Treadwell.
was.
Right,
Yeah. And
yeah.
well, Alaskans didn't see him as a folklore or
No.
no.
But Sarah Palin was very interesting. Sarah and I was doing my political talk show when she did her meteoric rise from city council, mayor, and Sarah and I would talk back in those days.
Okay.
And when she got to be governor, a lot of people trash what she did as governor. But I want to say that there were, in every governor, there's something good that happened.
Right.
Maybe there's a lot of bad too. But the one thing that happened under Sarah Palin that I will always give her credit for is she brought the right group of people into Fish and Game that brought us to be able to manage our mammals in an actual effective way for the first time. It was the environmentalist wackos, because we do a thing called predator control.
Right.
Right. And, and Wally Hickle was famous. You can't let nature run wild. Remember when he said
Yes,
that?
he do.
Right. I told that to Irma Lee. Can't do that. But
And impressions. Now we're on impressions, so I'm keeping count. I'm moving.
Wait till I do my Jay Hammond. I might have molested a caribou. I'm not sure when that was out at Lake Clark when that happened. But Wally was right. You can't manage certain parts of it and then not others.
Right.
You have to manage it all.
Absolutely.
And in 1937 there was a law passed in the United States called the Pittman-Robertson Act. And the Pittman-Robertson Act created the North American model for wildlife.
Okay.
Okay. It's a big deal for any of us involved in that stuff. And what it is they came up, and it was some hunters that came up with this, because if you realize during the Depression, game in America got scarce.
Sure it did.
There had been market hunters all the way up. Now everybody's poor. They're out shooting everything. Turn of the century, there weren't that many deer in the United States. The moose were depleted. Alaska was still cool, but the rest of the place wasn't. The turkeys were almost extirpated from the entire United States. Now turkeys are everywhere. And what it all came from was this 1937 law that said user pay public benefit. So the management of wildlife is totally done. All Fish and Games in every state get all their money for wildlife through hunting license sales, and then the Pittman-Robertson match, which is a wholesale tax on guns and ammo at the wholesale level that goes to the Department of Interior, never to Congress. And then they match your Fish and Game Fund dollars 4-1. And that pays for all wildlife management. So defenders of wildlife, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, all these people that want to take your money to manage wildlife, they don't do dick.
Right.
Fish and Game and hunters pay for it all. And that was the model that changed everything and why we have game today and why we have so much of it. And turkeys in the lower 48, they're everywhere. I never saw them growing up when I was a kid. Now they're everywhere.
And you think Sarah Palin...
She brought, the people for the ethics treatment of animals, all that, who always say they're trying to save the wildlife,
right.
They're not doing anything.
Right.
They can't.
Right.
And
I shouldn't be agreeing. I should be listening.
You should be listening.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
You got to give me some
She's
pointers
here.
here.
Into it though.
I know.
And so we do a thing called predator control, and what predator or intensive management is actually the law, 1994 law, and what it says is that deer, caribou, and moose are for human consumption mainly, and we should be able to suppress predators and change habitat to artificially rise the level of this food for people animal.
Right.
And the outsiders are putting pressure. Remember, they put pressure on Tony Knowles. And he said, okay, well, let's sterilize the wolves. Okay, that didn't work, right? Wally Hickel caved in too. And it really wasn't until Sarah Palin that they said, you know what, screw it. We're Alaska, and we're going to manage like Alaskans do. This is a law. We're doing predator control. And now it's common practice because of what she set in place. Oh. Yeah.
Nicely. I would say that when people would ask, are they pro or against, or especially in the lower 48, just, why did she say yes to running for vice presidency?
Yeah. How do
you say no?
Yeah. How do you say no? And how do I tell you why someone else said
That's
something?
exactly right. I have no.
Yeah.
No.
And I don't either.
Yep.
She's a great celebrity, though.
No, she is.
She's a good celebrity.
She makes the. Yep.
Yeah.
Without even trying.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. No, and I think she and I sat on a plane coming back from Fairbanks about a year ago. Uh-huh. And all of a sudden, because there was tension between our relationship when she was running for vice president and all that, and because I wasn't fully on board,
right?
But it was her talking about her kids and me talking about mine, like it used to be,
right?
And it was almost like an old friendship kind of reblossomed.
Yep.
So I was glad to have that.
So what do you think keeps an Alaskan here?
Alaska. You think about the opportunities. I mean, yeah, for me, I was hunting, it was fishing. And I've done it. I've hunted most things in Alaska. Not all. I haven't taken an elk.
Okay.
I haven't taken a muskox. But I've pretty much eaten everything else on
right.
On
well,
site.
yeah.
Yeah, and not that I've shot marine mammals, but I've lived in the bush, so I've eaten walrus, I've eaten seal, I've eaten whale.
That wasn't my favorite.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I'm not a big marine mammal fan, although my son did make whale bacon the other day.
Oh.
And that turned out to be pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Baleen whale bacon. Apparently in Japan, that's a big deal.
Okay.
And they sell it for a lot of money.
No, and
I didn't, except I've got a friend who's a doctor in Kyoto from Japan.
Okay.
He was a foreign exchange student at that high school in Montana.
Oh, yeah, of course you do.
We're still in contact. And he sent me the recipe because he says, whale, send me some baleen bacon. I said, well, I can't do that. I can't sell you anything because there's laws. But so he gave me the recipe, and then my son made the bacon, and that was pretty good.
So what's your hope for Alaska?
My hope for Alaska, either that we adjust our population to the economics that exist, which is shrinking, or and I hope and I pray that because Trump is behind it, and with that, it may not need to make money, that this natural gas pipeline happens.
Okay.
And the old bumper sticker.
Yes.
Yeah. God, give us another economic boom,
won't mess
and
it
I
up.
promise to not piss it away this time.
That's right.
And it's the fourth time we've had that happen?
It's true.
Right.
It's true.
So
this close.
We're this close.
Yep.
But, you think about the permanent fund, right? And Alaska is not the only state with a permanent fund.
No.
It is
Wyoming has.
Right. Texas has one. We're just the only one that pays a dividend because, for those who don't know, a permanent fund is one of the 5 authorized funds from the general accounting practices, or the GAP, as they call it.
I'm surprised that you can sit down pulling all of this out all at once.
Just right
in
off
one
the top
conversation.
Of my head. But the permanent fund was so close to balancing the budget on its own when Walker dipped into it.
Yeah.
If he could have just hung on a couple more years.
Right.
And I am a little bothered by the earnings of the permanent fund. I don't know if you've looked at it.
I have.
So I have a 401k that I manage. Now, granted, it's not $80 billion.
Right.
But I certainly double a lot faster than the permanent fund does. So I wonder what our trustees are doing with it. If they're not, if I'm managing my funds better than they're managing that, why is that?
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you just put it in the S&P 500 and let it ride, it does better than it's done.
Okay.
Just saying.
God, it's just pot stirring, aren't you?
Isn't it? Yes. Okay. Well, these things bug me.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I hope for Alaska. I hope that I really hope that the natural gas pipeline comes through. I'm resistant to say I believe it's going to, but I think if there politically was the will to get it done, this might be the best time.
Right.
Because the amount of natural gas on that North Slope stranded is huge.
It sure is.
Massive.
It sure is.
Right.
So I love this podcast.
Okay.
You've talked a lot about how you've contributed to our community, and it's a sincere thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's why I've been hounding you to come on, because I think people know the radio person and people know the involvement with politics or affinity for it. I'm not sure that they get the opportunity to see that sweet spot where you just honestly show a loyalty and a love for our state.
Yeah.
And I love it here.
It's given me so much.
Yeah.
It really did. I could not have done this. And okay, I always consider myself a Montanan, and I always will. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the remnants from it, just so you know. You can take Montana out of the...
Right. Yep.
But anyway...
I thought it was supposed to be in your back pocket, so there was a round...
Yeah, I carry other things. I'm not into the round thing anymore, which I told my mother was a hockey puck when I was a kid. Right, because that started...
That was my next question. Daddy's boy or mama's boy?
Neither, really. They were both pretty negligent. They probably should have been arrested, Yeah.
That explains so much.
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. No, they were kind of busy with their own lives. They didn't.
Right.
We were in a socioeconomic, somewhat depressed family.
Got it.
Right.
With that comes opportunity. You had to make a lot of choices, didn't you?
And, like leaving at 15.
Right.
And coming to Alaska.
Yeah.
Right. Unemancipated. But again, the 70s. But yeah, so those are my hopes for Alaska. And I think that, nowhere else would the opportunities have presented themselves, because as you know, and I think people are shocked when I say this, that don't have a good work ethic, I have never lacked for more people wanting to hire me than I had time in a day.
Wow.
So I've had up to 4 jobs at one time.
Right.
I mean, there was a time I did a morning radio show. I would run over to my project management job at the engineering firm. I would leave that, go down to Craig Ketchum. Come on, let's go fishing. Jump on an afternoon flight, go out and do a bear tour, come back, head to the bar with my band and sing to the end of the night.
Wow.
4 jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And still had other people that wanted to hire me.
That's great.
So where else in Alaska? I mean, the opportunity.
If you want to work hard.
If you want to work hard.
Yep.
You will, and you'll be successful here.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's my take on Alaska.
That's awesome.
So.
Well, thank you. What's the one question I should have asked?
You were going to ask me, what is it about me that most people don't know?
I was going to ask you that.
That was it.
I did.
Did you?
I was supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. 'Cause I don't remember
give
that.
Give it to me.
I'm actually an ambivert and very shy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Well, because an ambivert means you can function as an extrovert, but you still need to be alone to rejuvenate, to re-energize. And it's so I'm an introvert being able to masquerade as an extrovert.
That's so nice. I tell people I'm a closet introvert, so you put it much, much better.
There you go. All right. Yeah, ambivert.
Oh. Well, the gratitude runs deep. Thanks very much for your time.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Everybody keep watching
you.
her stuff.
Well, I don't know. We'll get better at it.
All right, thanks.
Okay.